Hey everyone, GamerJlee here, and welcome back to another video. And today I wanted to talk about Modern Warfare, and I wanted to do it in a style that goes back to the ages when Modern Warfare, well, the original, the first one, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and Black Ops, and World at War, and Modern Warfare 2, and so on and so forth, were great. Because back then, we had Call of Duty commentaries. Now, I didn't start YouTubing right around the time that these were popular, but I remember watching quite a lot of them on Machinima Respawn. That's now dead. But that's not the point here. That's not the point at all. The point is with the recent Wings of Redemption Down the Rabbit Hole, which I will have a link for in the top right corner right about now, as well as the Modern Warfare beta, I think now is the best time to talk about the beta itself and my major concerns when it comes to Modern Warfare. So let's just get right into this. So let's start off by talking about the beta, because that honestly was what set me over from being very skeptical and wanting to skip this Call of Duty altogether to actually being interested, to the point that I spent so much time on the game that I max leveled in the beta and just kept going. I mean, I didn't stop. I kept playing and playing and playing. And I think that was two factors altogether. One, I had an entire group to play with. I had the whole SFTP fam with me, playing through the game, having a great time. But honestly, the other thing is that they've improved a lot of things. The maps are no longer this 3-lane bullshit that we've been dealing with year after year. There's a lot more diversity to the maps and a lot more options when it comes to movement. The game modes are actually a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. The only ones I don't really like, and this is gonna be a little bit controversial, I don't like Headquarters. To me, it is literally the camper fuck fest that, you know, it always seems to be. And, well, Ground War runs like shit, and honestly, it just isn't fun to me. Maybe if I see more maps, maybe if I see more options with it, maybe it'll turn more to my liking, but honestly, from what I played of it, it wasn't fun. But I will say, the one mode that really did appeal to me was Cyber Attack, and it's not just me. The whole SFTP fam got behind this game mode because honestly, it is one of the most competitive, fun, and honestly hilarious modes that you are ever going to play. I mean, it brought back the good old days of Call of Duty shit talking. It brought back the days of when people weren't afraid to talk shit and get hit and say whatever was on their mind, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. And it honestly brought us some of the funniest moments in our Call of Duty beta experience. When we were playing Cyber Attack, there would be teams just talking shit the entire game, every round. And then we would either come back or we'd be dominating the whole game. And at the end, they would shut the fuck up and take it like a bitch. And I loved that. Now, I know what a lot of people are going to say, and including a few of my friends, but gamer, that's being toxic. But gamer, that's being unsportsmanlike. And I'm going to say this before I answer any of that. Go click the video in the top right corner. Go check it out right now. It's my response to Halo Follower. And you'll see exactly why I feel the way I feel. Because in that video, they try and say that teabagging is being toxic. And teabagging is trying to demotivate you. I've never perceived it that way. And even whenever it came to shit talking, I've never really perceived it that way. The way I've always looked at it is 3 different ways. 1, get fucking good. 2, just bring it. And 3, make me eat my own words. And 99.9% of the time, I have done that. I've made my opponent who's shit talking me, teabagging me, doing everything they can to bring my spirits down, eat their own fucking words. And that's honestly the best way to look at it. Because if you're going to let some jackass on the internet get to you and ruin your entire day and break your spirit, then that isn't good. And honestly, you really need to think to yourself, this is some jackass on the internet. Someone who has no meaning to my life and I'm just never going to talk to after this match. And if it really bothers you that much, there's a mute option. That's one of the best features in the game if you can't handle it. There is a mute option. Hell, there's an option to turn off both sides. So if your teammates are annoying you, turn it all off. I don't know. But honestly, the shit talking was one of the best parts. And especially whenever they would start it and we would finish it. And by the end of the game, they were totally silent. And we were saying, oh, what were we saying again?
Look here. Look, listen.
Oh, that's right. We were just literally sitting there quoting Wings of Redemption, look here, look, listen, over and over and over again. Now, you can say that's kind of annoying, that's kind of loud and obnoxious. Hey, at least we aren't being truly toxic. At least we're being funny and goofing on them and literally not doing something so fucked up. Like, I mean, you know, there are people who are screaming, you know, derogatory terms and, you know, all sorts of things. At least we did something funny. At least we didn't just start screaming the F word or the N word or something else, you know? At least we did something funny. Now give me a break, because now we're going to get a little bit serious. Let's get into the actual meat and potatoes of this video. Let's talk about the one big problem that still looms behind Modern Warfare. And that problem is Activision. I know, it's very simple and, you know, it's something that we all know, but the problem is Activision. No matter what, it's always going to be Activision, because for year after year after year, and I know that people are going to say that EA is the worst company of all time. I respectfully disagree, because I've always felt Activision is 10 times worse. And the reason why I say that is they are one of the most manipulative, cunning, and devious companies I have ever seen in my entire life. I mean, let me just give you a recent example, and a very good example. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, one of my favorite games that came out this year, was absolutely ruined for me a few months back, and the reason why is a month after release, they added Wumpa coins as a buyable, purchasable item. Now, I know that that's not a major deal and all the things that are in the game are cosmetic, but nonetheless, it honestly started to slow progress in the game. You started seeing less Wumpa coins being rewarded to you in-game for winning races. You saw less coins coming to you during the Wumpa hours, and so on and so forth. And it got to the point where no one wanted to play the game. A lot of people have stopped playing the game entirely and have moved on to other things. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. And you're probably saying to yourself, well, Gamer, that's a totally different franchise. Like, what's the point? Think about it this way. The reason why they did that, and they didn't release it at launch, you know why? To avoid reviewers. To avoid the harsh criticism that reviewers would give them. And to avoid the ESRB on the physical copies of the game. On physical copies of the game, they must say contains in-game purchases. And guess what? The physical copies of the game do not contain that warning, because this was added after the ESRB rating had already gone through. Now, it does get added to the digital version, but honestly, that doesn't matter nearly as much as the one that is on the physical box in the stores at Walmart, Target, and so on and so forth. And it was extremely devious, extremely cunning, and honestly makes me sick to my stomach, to the point I haven't even returned to Crash Team Racing in over 2 to 3 months. Now, if that's not a good enough example for you, let's talk about something that hits a little bit closer to home. Let's talk about this game right here, Modern Warfare Remastered. The game that a lot of people bought Infinite Warfare for, and a game that they had said multiple times would not contain pay-to-win microtransactions, would never be released as a physical copy separate from Infinite Warfare. They said that multiple times. And guess what? They went back on their word on both of those, as well as did one more worse. Instead of, I don't know, like every other remaster, including the DLC maps as part of the collection, a part of the remaster, they sold them to you separately. And for $5 more than what the original price was of the DLC map pack. This is a company that doesn't care about its consumers. This is a company that chooses to make money hand over fist instead of doing what's best for business and what's best to retain customers in the future. They would rather have the money now instead of earn that goodwill with their customers and get more money later. Because I guarantee you, that's the thing that I fear most whenever it comes to Modern Warfare. I fear what their monetization game is going to be in the long run. Because if you guys remember Black Ops 4, that was another thing of contention. Now, I believe I did a video on this, and if I did, I'll have it in the top right corner. But last year's Call of Duty, you didn't have the option to purchase individual map packs. It was all or nothing, baby. Either you buy the season's pass or you go get bent and you don't play any of the DLC maps. And funny enough, this year, there's no season's pass. There's no DLC. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I've never had a problem with map packs. It's just the quality of the map packs that is important and being able to see that quality. And having the consumer have the choice to pick and choose whether or not he decides to consume or purchase that map pack. And making sure that it doesn't split the community to the point where people can't play together. That's the most important part. But the issue is that they took away that option. They didn't even give you a consumer option whatsoever. And plus their microtransactions were complete bullshit. I mean, don't even get me started on the red dot controversy that happened last year. That was completely ridiculous, and we've seen worse. I mean, Gears 5 is pretty fucking bad whenever it comes to microtransactions, but that was just the shit topping on top of the shit cake that was Black Ops 4. The only thing that people appreciated about that game was Blackout, and that lasted a couple of months, and then people got bored and moved on with their lives. So this literally just happened as I was finishing up recording and editing and everything. But we just found out about the deal with Call of Duty Modern Warfare Spec Ops mode and PlayStation having exclusive rights to this mode for 1 year. Now, this doesn't affect me that much because honestly, I don't really care for the Spec Ops mode. I loved it in Modern Warfare 2, but I didn't really enjoy it in any of the other games. But 1 whole year? I mean, give it a couple weeks, a month, max, but a whole year? This just baffles me due to the fact that, guys, this is the Call of Duty franchise. The game only lasts a fucking year. Are you kidding me? This is a fucking joke. I really hope that this is a fucking joke because this is just ironic that right as I'm talking about my problems with the Call of Duty series and everything else, this pops up. What the actual fuck? This is like just irony on top of irony that these problems that I'm talking about keep showing up, and now this? I don't even know what to say. All I can say is I'm sorry for all those people that are going to miss out on the mode, because the problem is no one's going to give a shit about the game after a year. No one's going to care because there's going to be another Call of Duty game unless they plan on making this game a multi-year game. But those are just my thoughts and opinions. I really have no clue what's going to happen with Modern Warfare, and honestly, am I excited for the game? Yes, but at the same time, I'm extremely worried due to the fact that I had such a good time at the beta. I really would hate to see that get ruined for me. So what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section down below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like on it. If you dislike it, go ahead and leave a dislike on it. If you guys want to get a hold of me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, whatever you want, all the links are down in the description box down below, as well as my Twitch, where you guys can come and watch me stream regularly over on twitch.tv/GamerJlee. But guys, thank you so much for watching. And as always, GamerJlee signing out.